door and fuel area. I'm gonna come back here. I'm basically gonna open this door up. I'm gonna make sure it opens and shut. I'm gonna check my window, make sure it rolls up and down. I'm gonna check my rubber seal around the door, make sure it's good and secure. While I'm here, I see my BC fire extinguisher right here. I'm just gonna go ahead and mention my emergency equipment. I would check my 3 reflective triangles and any spare fuses if the truck required it. So you can mention your emergency equipment now, or you can wait till you get inside the truck. It's up to you as a student doing it. I'll go ahead and shut my door, make sure it's shut and secure. Everything looks good. Check my handle, make sure it's good and secure. Check my steps, making sure they're mounted securely to the tank. The main thing on my fuel tank is leakage, making sure I don't see any leaks underneath it. Also, I'll check my fuel cap. There's a gasket in there that needs to be good and secure. And my straps here to make sure that they're bolted and mounted securely to the frame. I would work my way on back. Only thing on the batteries I need to check is just to make sure my cover is mounted securely and it doesn't look like it's going to fall off when you're driving down the road. I'll come to the back of the tractor. I will look at my air hoses and my electrical line where they come out of the tractor, and then I would turn and look where they mounted to the trailer. You got to mention both places on your air lines and electrical line. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the tractor completely up. So I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna look at my frame. If your frame has a broke place in it, this is probably the spot that it would be at, because it gets a lot of twisted and things. It looks good and secure. I'm gonna look at my catwalk, make sure it's mounted securely to the frame. While I'm here, I'm gonna go ahead and mention my drive shaft. I'm gonna kind of look down in between the catwalk and make sure it's good and secured. And then this one has a belly exhaust muffler, and I can see it from this location. So I'm gonna go ahead and mention my exhaust, that it's now secured. I don't see any cracks in the muffler letting the exhaust out, any leakage on it. I'm gonna move my way on back to the my braking system. First of all, I'm gonna do my suspension. I'm sorry. This has got airbags and airbag mounts. I'm gonna make sure that my airbags are good and secure, that there's not any cuts or abrasions on them, that my mounts are good and secure. I don't see any bolts missing. I'm gonna look to see what this suspension system has here. If it hadn't have a shock, I'd mention it. This one I can't see one right here. I'm also going to look up in front of the axle here to see what all it has. It's got a torsion rod underneath the bottom there. I'll make sure that it's mounted secure, and I'm going to go ahead and check if it had leaf springs. I would mention those. Sometimes you'll have leaf springs and airbags, and it's according to which truck you use for your pre-trip. Whatever truck you go to use is what you would say you would check. So if this truck didn't have leaf springs, I wouldn't want to mention it when I went to do my testing things. I'm gonna go ahead and do my air brakes. My air brakes. I've got my air line that probably can see those better. This kind of shooting back in there. We can see my air lines. Goes to the chamber, make sure my chamber is secure. I'm also going to make sure my slack adjusters don't move more than 1 inch. Checking my push rods, that they should be at a 90-degree angle. And then I'm going to look at my brake pads, and sometimes you may have to look at your brake pad from this side and check the other side of the trailer. Back and forth. It may be easier to do that than check the side that you're on right here because of the angle. But I would have to bend down and kind of twist and turn in there to see those. I'm going to come out to my first axle. I'm going to check my tires on it. I'm gonna make sure if it has a spacer that my spacer's in and there's nothing in between my two duals, that my tires are at least 2/32, that they're secure, that the sidewalls are secure on both sides, that my air pressure is to the normal amount that it should be. Also, I check my rims that they don't have any cuts or abrasions in them. That my this is a hub seal, so there's really no physical way I can check the amount of fluid in it, but I can check for leakage. So I want to make sure there's not any puddle of oil in my rim, and kind of be looking on the inside of this axle also for leakage. I would check this axle the same way I check my front axle, and that covers brakes, suspension, anything that you have two axles hooked together by the same suspension. That's how you can do that, so you don't have to repeat yourself on this axle here. I'm going to go ahead and do my fifth wheel. There's about 9 different things on the fifth wheel that you need to mention. You've got an upper fifth wheel and a lower fifth wheel. My upper fifth wheel has this metal plate that's welded to the front. That's my apron. Make sure it's secure, it's not broken loose, hanging down. I'm going to look at my kingpin, that it's good and secure. Also, I'm going to check the gap in between the upper and lower fifth wheel, make sure that there's no daylight in between that. I'm going to look at my mounting bolts and make sure that it's mounted secure to the frame. Also, I'm going to look at my platform to make sure that there's a Carter key and the bolt is in here, that it's where it should be, and that it's not missing. As I bend down and look, I noticed this is a sliding fifth wheel, that it's locked. My locking pins are in place. My release arm and safety latch is in the locked position, and I would come back here and bend and look up in the middle of my fifth wheel at my locking jaws around the kingpin. Make sure it's good and secure. While I'm bent down here looking up that way, I'm going to check my tail lights, turn signals, four-way flashers. I'm going to check everything except the back of my tractor as far as my lights go. I'm going to look at my mud flaps and make sure they're good and secure. And then I'm going to ease on back out from underneath the tractor. Is there any questions on anything on the truck so far? Okay, I'm going to go to the trailer now.